Good afternoon and hello, everyone. My name is Rich Longo, and thank you for joining us for another Flycast Partners webcast. Today's presentation is on mobile-centric zero trust. It's a virtual lunch and learn that is actually being presented jointly by Avante, Mobileiron, and Flycast Partners. So I would like to take some time to introduce Faran Savdan. He has over a decade in the mobile security space, and I think I just butchered his name again. I apologize. He has been a solutions architect for the Defense Information Systems Agency Mobility Program, has been with Mobileiron the last several years, and he comes to Avante through Mobileiron. So he will be our presenter today, showing you mobile-centric zero trust. So before we get started, let me introduce Flycast Partners. Flycast Partners offers best-in-class implementation services and training in IT service management, IT asset management, IT operations management, IT security, enterprise service management, and workload automation spaces using ITIL best practice. Our professional services team has well over 5,600 professional services engagements, both on-site and remote. And as an organization, Flycast Partners has well over 1,200 regular customers throughout Canada and the United States. Now, this does include many organizations throughout Department of Defense and federal agencies, state agencies, and local government agencies as well. I encourage you to reach out to us at any time at 844-FLYCAST, that's 844-359-2278, or visit our website. Feel free to chat with one of our live IT experts Monday through Friday during normal business hours. They're happy to help you out, or you can email us at info@flycastpartners.com, and we'll make sure we get that information over to you as quickly as we possibly can. So now, without further delay, I'm going to go ahead and turn this screen over to Faran, and he is going to show us a little bit about what Mobileiron can do for you.
So I'm going to run through the mobile-centric zero trust approach. Just a little bit about Mobileiron. We were recently acquired by Avante at the end of last year. I joined as a senior solutions architect on our public sector team. And a little bit about our story going forward as one joint company. What we're really trying to solve is the everywhere enterprise. And what we offer is an end-to-end platform that can manage, discover secure services, and automate critical workflows across your IT resources, and ultimately give your end users the best experience to access their enterprise services, whether it's cloud or on-premise. From an endpoint management perspective, we enable the legacy patch management and device management for Windows 10 and Linux, and also for mobility, with the unified endpoint management capability that Mobileiron has enabled. We can discover various endpoints, regardless of operating system, and manage ultimately the enterprise data that you want to offer on those various endpoints. From a zero trust perspective, we offer patch management, network access control, and conditional based access to enterprise, on-prem, and cloud services. Along with the acquisition with Mobileiron, Avante also acquired PulseSecure. So there are many VPN and CASB like capabilities that have merged into the portfolio. And then finally, service management. Avante has a best-of-breed asset management solution as well, that can enable IT and other asset management capabilities and workflows for your various lines of business throughout your organization. I'm going to be primarily focusing on the mobile and modern endpoint management as well as zero trust. But if you are interested in any of these areas in IT, please reach out through Flycast, and we'll be glad to do follow-ups. So the problem that we're ultimately trying to solve is this problem here, right? Your data is now everywhere. We're seeing many agencies and commercial customers fully adopt cloud services while they continue to invest in and have their legacy on-prem network many of the services are now extending to the cloud. And what also has happened in the last few years is a wide array of mobile endpoints and modern laptop and desktop endpoints are now entering the enterprise, right? So you have many different operating systems with different form factors, ultimately accessing your enterprise data. And how do you secure it? So that's where Mobileiron comes in. We have over 20,000 customers across the globe, 390 technology partners that we integrate with to enable that zero trust story, over 80 plus security patents that are built in to our product from the ground up. And we've also been a leader in the Gartner Magic Quadrant for Unified Endpoint Management, MDM, and EMM for the last 9 years. We are also highly rated by our customers for customer success. The Gartner Peer Insight Choice Award was awarded to us in 2019, and countless other years for service capability and performance management. Some of the list of government customers that chose Mobileiron to roll out their mobility projects and cloud security projects include some of the ones you see here. If you're interested in any of the use cases, we have plenty listed on our website as well. We're also a leader in government and regulatory compliance. Our solution is FIPS 140-2 validated for encryption. We are SOC 2 Type 2 compliant for our cloud-based solution. We also have a FedRAMP certification for federal and state governments that require FedRAMP certifications for cloud. We also map to many of the regulatory compliance that we see in both federal and state governments, such as criminal justice information systems, HIPAA compliance, CMMC. These are just a few. We have specific build guides that allow you to ultimately push out policies, configurations, and apps in accordance with those government regulations. We also leverage the NIAP protection profiles to build our solution, which essentially means that we can be deployed in highly classified environments. And we're also on the commercial solutions for classified approved products list for various agencies that require that. Additionally, we have a Department of Defense security technical implementation guide, so you can enable the highest grade of security on your mobile endpoints through our platform. So security is a major piece of the Mobileiron solution, and how we achieve that is what I'll go through in the following slides. So we follow the zero trust model, and we have a mobile-centric zero trust model that I will go over. From a high level, essentially what that means to us is to assume security threats are already in your enterprise. And the enterprise really extends to those cloud services and modern endpoints that are connecting from various places to various services. And for us, the way to solve that is to give no inherent trust to the device, the user, or the app, and to always verify. We validate the device to ensure that the device is locked down and configured into a known good state with the right policies, configurations, and apps that are required for the user. We establish user context so we can establish identity on the device to authenticate to the various services you are trying to reach. We check app authorization, so only the sanctioned applications are on your various endpoints, and only those applications are approved to access your enterprise data. And then we also verify the networks that your modern devices are connecting to, whether you want to ensure that that device, when connecting to Wi-Fi, is on a WPA3 encrypted network. If you want to ensure that a VPN payload is activated before that device is able to access the enterprise data. So there's various ways we do that. And then finally, we detect and remediate threats on modern endpoints. Threats could be a device, network, application, or phishing level attack. And we can detect those and take automated remediation actions, such as removing apps and policies and configurations if a device falls out of compliance. And all of this needs to be done on an ongoing compliance enforcement basis, which is what our architecture solves. So starting from the bottom up is our Mobileiron Unified Endpoint Management Solution, UEM. We offer that in two flavors. There's an on-premise Mobileiron Core solution and a cloud-based SaaS solution called Mobileiron Cloud. The UEM is the policy engine. This is how we provision the device into a known good state, enable secure workspaces, push out policies and configurations, distribute approved applications to the end user and the device, and also gives the administrator a single pane of glass to be able to remotely control and wipe and view that device. This functions on iOS, Android, macOS, and Windows 10. So there are different configurations and controls based on those operating systems, but all of it is managed through the UEM. On top of Mobileiron UEM is our Mobileiron Sentry. Mobileiron Sentry is an intelligent gateway that is included with our UEM licensing. It is a conditional access gateway that provides secure access to any legacy enterprise IT resource, whether it be your intranet, your SharePoint, your SIPS file share, all of those legacy systems that are behind your corporate firewalls. Mobileiron Sentry provides conditional access to those by communicating with the UEM. And if this device falls out of compliance for whatever reason, we can block that connectivity through the Sentry. In a similar capacity, Mobileiron Access provides conditional access and zero sign-on to cloud and legacy systems that support modern auth by integrating with an identity provider. So what that means is we can provide a zero sign-on experience to any cloud or legacy system where the end user leverages native biometrics on a device to ultimately authenticate to those cloud services instead of having to use usernames and passwords or other means. So it enables a seamless multi-factor authentication using biometrics and uses the device's conditional access capability and characteristics, like if the device is compliant, does the user have the right app? Are they accessing the data on the approved app? And do they have the right credentials? And we make risk-based decisions on if we should allow that device to connect to the various cloud services and provide that zero sign-on capability. And on top of Mobileiron Access, finally, is the Mobileiron Threat Defense Solution, what we call MTD. MTD detects and remediates device, network, application, and phishing level attacks on iOS and Android, and remediates those attacks with automation. For example, if a user receives an SMS phishing link on their iOS or Android device and clicks it, we can alert the user, alert the admin, and block that site from being accessed, as an example. So to double click on Mobileiron UEM, the capabilities that it enables is policy and configuration enforcement for the various operating systems you see here. Application management and distribution. So there's an enterprise application store built into UEM. So you can publish and approve mobile applications as well as macOS and Windows 10 applications for your users based off of groups and OU structures. It also enables the rest of the capabilities that you saw on the previous slide. It is the single pane of glass for management in your environment. The benefits, this is how we enable true zero trust, increase user adoption with compliance. So enabling the regulatory compliance that you may be required to, and then secure any device. So to give your user true freedom of choosing whatever device they want while retaining security. The use cases are the enhanced knowledge worker. So it's no longer about just getting enterprise email on modern endpoints, but users want access to the various cloud services and their enterprise services that can help them do their job. Frontline workers, users might have ruggedized or purpose-built devices. For example, for asset management, they may have a scanning mobile device that they would use in a warehouse to scan assets. that is also a capability that we can enable through the Mobileiron Uem, as well as contractors for bring your own device or bring your own device for corporate personnel or government personnel that need to access their enterprise data on their mobile device that they own personally. We can enable that as well via containerization or segmentation of data and prevent data loss prevention. Some additional extensive use cases. So we do support Kiosk Mode for the modern mobile devices in iOS and Android. You can lock down those devices and enable a handful or one or two apps if needed. There's also a shared mode where you can, where if you have a frontline worker or shift worker that is sharing a device, when shift worker 1 comes in, they'll log in and see their enterprise apps and data, and then they'll log off at the end of the day. And when shift worker 2 comes in at night, they will log in and see their enterprise apps and data. So we fully support that use case. Again, we support the ruggedized mobile endpoints such as Zebra and others, where you can enable certain features on that device, lock it down into a specific single app mode if needed, and through a partnership that Mobileiron actually started called appconfig.org, enable certain apps with configurations, making the end user experience seamless so the end user does not need to configure apps. They can automatically get their configurations from our backend service. We also have the ability to remotely view devices for troubleshooting purposes on iOS and Android through our Mobileiron Uem. And then we also support some of the higher security functionality that Samsung Knox provides specifically on Samsung-enabled Android devices. Mobileiron Apps at Work is our enterprise app store that is built into the UEM solution. This is how we manage and distribute modern applications for iOS, Android, Windows 10, and macOS. There are report capabilities that gives your administrators and security teams insight into which apps are being used and who is downloading them, as well as distribution analytics and integrations with the Apple, Google Play Store, Windows 10, Microsoft Store, as well as the Mac App Store as well. So you can pull in those public apps and upload your own in-house developed apps as well for distribution through the Mobileiron Uem to your enterprise. So Mobileiron Access is our enterprise cloud-based service that provides seamless zero sign-on experience to your cloud and legacy IT resources, eliminating usernames and passwords. With this solution, we enable multi-factor authentication. So we enable your mobile device to be the authentication source. We enable zero sign-on by eliminating the password and leveraging native biometrics to ultimately authenticate to the various cloud services and enterprise services. And there's also an adaptive policy engine where we can gain the insight that you may have lost as you start to extend to the cloud, right? So which users and devices are accessing your various cloud services? What conditional access rules do you want to implement to ensure that your enterprise data is ultimately secured? And this protects data from unauthorized user access, device access, and also leverages our UEM technology to ensure only the approved apps and approved security policies are enabled on your devices that are connecting to your enterprise services. And ultimately, what we call kill the password can be achieved by providing that zero sign-on experience. This is a very quick demo of what Mobileiron Access can do. On the left here, you see an unmanaged laptop where an enterprise user is going to attempt to log into their Microsoft O365 account, where they can access their O365 apps. This device on the right is a managed Mobileiron device, so we ensure that this device is protected and secured before we allow this device to be used as an authentication source. You're going to see the user log into the O365 cloud service on the left using a push notification on their mobile device and Face ID to unlock the authentication. So on the left here, the user is logging into, sorry, I played that too fast. Let me just back up here. Okay, so on the left here, the user is going to be logging into a cloud service, in this case, O365. They enter their username, and then they're redirected to Mobileiron Access. On the right here, the user gets a push notification, and you can see they accepted it. It'll tell the device's location, which device is authenticating. So in this case, it's a desktop using Safari. And then the end user has the ability to accept this authentication. When they accept their authentication, they're prompted with a Face ID to unlock the session, and then the access is granted, and the user is now logged in to Office 365 without ever having to enter a username or password or use a smart card for authentication or some sort of authentication token. And this is our zero sign-on experience. Additionally, there are capabilities where we can, if this device was managed, we could authenticate directly from the device based on the security profile. So I want to talk a little bit about the mobile problem that is occurring in our enterprise. We're seeing 5 times the amount of mobile versus traditional endpoints being shipped to our various customers. Over 60% of enterprise endpoints are now mobile, meaning modern mobile with iOS or Android, or a laptop running Mac OS or Windows 10. And end users are now spending 3 times the amount of time on their mobile versus their traditional endpoints. However, this security dollars invested into mobile security, specifically mobile endpoint protection, is very little compared to how much mobile has been adopted in the last few years. So that is why Mobileiron Threat Defense exists. We provide real-time on-device protection against known and unknown threats on iOS and Android. The capabilities that we enable are using machine learning to detect device, network, application, and phishing level attacks. We get insight into the various threats on modern mobile devices. There is an advanced app analytics capability where enterprise system administrators and security teams can approve applications based off of their security and privacy risk score. And there's also local threat or remediation based on the operating system that we can enable. The benefits of using the Mobileiron Threat Defense solution is we gain 100% adoption with one app. So this solution is built into the Mobileiron management application that is used for the UEM solution, which it essentially means there are no third-party applications that are needed to for an end user to activate or install. It is seamlessly done through the Mobileiron app, which allows you to gain up to 100% user adoption. And then because it's so tightly integrated with our Mobileiron UEM solution, you get the on-device detection and remediation without requiring necessarily internet connectivity. The use cases are we protect against device level attacks. So this could be a inherent operating system risk, like we saw a couple of years back with Heartbleed as an example. Network level attacks where a man-in-the-middle attack could be taking place, or a user simply connects to an unsecured Wi-Fi network and attempts to access enterprise data where it could be compromised. Detecting various application threats, such as malicious app code, or an application that an end user may have downloaded that wasn't sanctioned and may be sending information or data to places where you do not want that app to send it. So we can detect where an app is communicating, what libraries does it have enabled in it, and give the system and security teams within your enterprise insight into which apps are secured and you should approve for your enterprise. And then finally, from a phishing perspective, we can detect phishing level attacks on iOS and Android and stop the end user from being able to access phishing links wherever it is on the device, whether it's in an SMS or smishing or an email or in other means such as a link within a document or a QR code, for an example. This is a quick demo of Mobileiron Threat Defense. On the left here, this is a mobile device that has been activated with Mobileiron Threat Defense. This is the Mobileiron app. We do give the end user insight into the security of their device so that they can see that their device is protected. And if there are any threats, they'll have additional information. On the right here is a mobile device managed by Mobileiron with Mobileiron Threat Defense already activated. And you're going to see an end user receive an SMS message and click a link. And that link will be blocked by Mobileiron Threat Defense as soon as the end user tries to access it. They'll also get a push notification, and this threat will be categorized in the backend portal, which the security team can choose to do what they want with it. And this is all configurable. So here we'll see the end user receives an SMS text. They'll click on it, and right then and there, you'll see that they get a push notification saying the link is risky, and we block them from being able to proceed to that site. So I also wanted to talk about mobile DevOps. Prior to Mobileiron being acquired by Avante, we acquired a company called Encaptic Connect, which is now integrated into the Mobileiron and now Avante solution. Encaptic Connect is the leading provider of mobile automation release, mobile app automation release. So essentially, we can automate app release and security from development. For agencies and enterprises that are developing many internal apps or contracting out that work to organizations that develop apps, they run into the problem of being able to publish those apps and ultimately get those apps in the hands of their end users, and then keeping that app up to date, right? Because mobile apps are constantly being updated for new functions and features, as well as for security updates. So this solution reduces costly app errors when going to publish those apps. There's metadata involved with publishing those apps, and there's also a signing certificate that an app publisher needs to keep track of. This solution will manage all of that through one portal, and the various stakeholders can get access to the portal to approve the app, and then we automate the app publishing to the various app stores. This ultimately accelerates that time to productivity and keeps the app updated more frequently by reducing some of those manual processes that the app publishers and the developers had to go through before. What that looks like from a high level perspective is an application developer and app owner would get access to the Encaptic Connect solution. The various stakeholders will, one will validate the app, the various stakeholders will approve the app for use, and then will automatically sign it without the encryption keys leaving the solution, and ensuring that the keys are also encrypted within the solution. And as stated, we have role-based access control where the various stakeholders, whether it's the app owner the application developer or the publishing team, those various stakeholders will have different segments of the solution access and will ultimately approve the app, and then we automate the publishing to the various UEM app stores if it's a private app, or to the public Apple App Store or the public Google Play Store. Additionally, we can integrate with a solution to security vet the application, so that security and privacy risk scoring can be analyzed before the app is approved. And if there are any issues with applications, that information can be shared with the developer to correct in the app, and then we automate the approval once the app has vetted through the security process. So Mobileiron is also an innovator in the derived credentials arena. So a derived credential is essentially a smart card based credential that is derived from your smart card and stored on your mobile device for use for authentication and signing and encryption of email and documents. Primarily for our federal agencies that are using smart cards such as PIV and CAC, this solution can replace needing to use dongles or legacy multi-factor authentication solutions on mobile devices, and ultimately store certificates from your PIV or CAC on your mobile device for authentication, encryption, and signing. We integrate with the large derived credential solutions that are out there in the federal space, such as the Department of Defense Purebred program, Entrust, XTUC, and Intercede, that we primarily see in the civilian side. And again, the use cases could be for signing and encrypting email through our own secure email client called Email Plus, encryption and decryption of certificates and data that is used with that encryption. Digitally signing PDFs with a signing certificate that we derive, as well as authenticating to any web service that is already CAC or PIV enabled. We can extend that to mobile, leveraging the derived credential so that the end user can seamlessly log into those smart card enabled websites on their mobile device without having to plug in a CAC or a PIV. So we have plenty of information on our website there if interested. And again, let Flycast know if you want a demo of this solution. Finally, we have over 390 technology partner integrations. We integrate with the major operating systems for management and configuration. So for Android, iOS, macOS, and Windows 10. There are also various cloud services that we integrate with, from both an authentication and authorization perspective with Access and ZSO, as well as for other functions such as data loss prevention control within Office 365, ITSM management with Avante and ServiceNow, to follow the life cycle of modern endpoints. And then from a unified communication perspective, we leverage something called app config to seamlessly enable these various applications so the end user doesn't have to activate them manually. We also integrate with various VPN solutions to enable a seamless VPN experience using certificate-based authentication and app config to automatically configure these VPN solutions so users don't have to manually configure them. From an identity perspective, we integrate with the major identity providers to provide the zero sign-on experience to the enterprise and cloud services. And network access control, we integrate with the major SIM tools, as well as the major network management and NAC solutions that are out there for security and management perspectives. And this is just a sample. You can view our full marketplace on marketplace.mobileiron.com to view all of our technology partner integrations.
Great presentation. Thank you so much for sharing. I learned a great deal myself. This is just as much an introduction to Mobileiron for myself as I'm sure our audience. Now, audience, I've seen some comments throughout the presentation, but I haven't seen any actual questions. So if you have any questions, we do have a couple minutes, 2 minutes or so, that we can take a question or two. So please type those in there. If you don't want to ask a question today, or you'd like to see an actual demo, go ahead and reach out to us at 844-FLYCAST. That's 844-359-2278. You can email us at info@flycastpartners.com, or better yet, go to our website. On our website, there's a chat box in the right-hand corner. They're standing by to get you any data sheets, white papers, any information that you might require. We're more than happy to help you out with that. So please, by all means, hit our website up, email us, give us a call, and we're happy to get you additional information on this tool. And I'm sure it can help out a lot of you with these larger agencies, larger government entities deal with the number of devices under your care. Here's a question coming from Alberto. Can Mobileiron MDM be integrated with carriers for immediate deployment when the device is activated?
Yes, great question. So we do support the various business programs that the operating systems have, like Apple Device Enrollment Program through the Apple Business Manager. So that is something that is possible for Apple. And then Google has something similar as well for zero-touch enrollment that we also integrate with. So you can take a device right out of factory that you may have received from the carrier, and when it powers on for the first time out of the box, it knows that it needs to register and be managed by your enterprise Mobileiron solution.
Great question. Thank you for asking, Alberto. And we have another question. This one comes from Marcus. Marcus, do you still support the container concept for user-owned devices?
Yeah, another great question. There are various means of management for devices. It really depends on the use case on which one we would recommend. But to answer the question in short, we do support containerization for corporate-owned devices as well. So you have the option of using like a full device owner as well as a container, or one or the other, or both, right? It depends on the use case, and we can have a follow-up on that if needed.
Next question comes from Adam. Adam wants to know, will the Mobileiron UI aspects eventually be integrated into the Avante UI platform? Ooh, that question might be premature.
Yeah, that is something that we're definitely exploring, and as the companies fully integrate the solutions, that is definitely on top of mind. So I can't comment on the future product, but definitely something we're looking into.
Great questions, folks. And we can probably take one more question, but if you do have questions after this event, by all means, once again, give us a call, 844-FLYCAST. Email us, info@flycastpartners.com. Go to our site and chat with us live Monday through Friday during regular business hours. And a lot of thank yous here for you. Fawn, I appreciate everything you've done, and I really apologize. I'm terrible with names, and I've been sitting here trying to work on this, so my sincere apologies. Next time we do this, I will have this down. But thank you for a great presentation today.
No, thank you. This was great. So again, please let me know if there are any follow-up questions from this, and I look forward to doing it again. Thanks.
Absolutely. And audience, thank you for taking time out of your busy day to join us, Avante and Mobileiron, for this presentation. You know how to get in touch with us. And until our next webcast, we'll see you then, and stay safe, folks.